Hello and welcome to another show called Let's Talk About It by David Hill. Today we're out running around Niagara Falls and we're asking different people what they want to talk about today. So let's go start talking to some people. Come on. Hey, what's going on, man?
How you doing today?
All right. We're going to talk about some things today, whatever you want to talk about on camera.
All right, well.
Today we're talking with William Davis. And we're going to see what views he has and things that he wants to discuss today that's on his mind.
Well, one of the things I would like to discuss and something on my mind is how as black people we have no unity and we don't pool our resources together to get ourselves out of the situation we're in. And what are some of the things we could do to get to that point where we can be able to support our own people with nobody else's help.
Oh, I see another gentleman coming up. Yeah, how's it going, young man?
Hey, good, bro.
I also know this gentleman too. His name is Norman Johnson. I'd like to welcome him to the show. Come on in. Today we're talking about things that people in the audience, whoever on the street, want to talk about, whatever they want to talk about.
How y'all doing today?
Right. So what I wanted to discuss, one of the topics was how as black men and women, how we should be pooling our monies together
Today.
and getting ourselves out of the financial bind and getting the rest of the world's foot off our neck by being responsible for our own finances.
Well, that's a good viewpoint. What do you think about what he just said?
I mean, it's a good point on the simple fact of how people should come together whatsoever. But it's like nowadays, even as a black folks, regardless if you separate as black folks, Mexicans, white folks, whatever, people don't believe in that word called community. Because people don't believe in becoming together no more. It's
Well,
like you got a small group of people who look out for each other and think of their race and their color whatsoever, or even actually look into how far our ancestors, where we come from, and how deep it gets into. And then you got people who just live life carelessly, and how they talk on what people tell them and what they told to believe.
So, what would be a way to get this back? What he's talking about as having your own, doing your own. I think one thing that would help is to learn who you are. Because once you learn who you are, you got a different respect for yourself. And this would give our people a different respect for themselves, to want to come together, to want to join hands and do the things that he talked about.
Then they can learn stability.
Mm-hmm.
Because once they learn and know who the fuck they are, excuse my language, and once they know who they are, then they'll learn how to build stability within themselves. And they can stabilize themselves. Then that's when they can say that they can love someone else. They can take care of someone else because they know without beyond the believable doubt, they can take care of themselves.
But that has a lot to do with learning about thyself.
Yes. And if you don't learn about thyself, how much do you care about thyself?
Well, the thing is to study and to start to teach. Without the teaching, we can have nothing. I like to go back to what he talked about earlier about coming together and having your own businesses or things of that nature that they had when I was a young man. You see plenty of that there around Niagara Falls, but today we don't see that. I don't know what happened to the businesses. I don't know what happened. I know what happened with the people and the children. See, the government had a lot to do with that, taking over things inside the household. Where you can take things in your own hands in your own house. So when I was a kid, they had a thing called a man's home is his castle. They didn't have no right to come in your home. I don't know where those rights went to. Just like that when I was a young man, my father, you couldn't come in our house doing any of that, not at all. But today, they march in your house, they shoot our children down. First of all, we got to get a hold on that before we get a hold on anything else.
Yeah.
But that comes with respect for ourselves, because the way they propagandize us in the media, it's like we is our own worst villains, which in actuality is not the truth. And what we need to do is start realizing how they playing these games so that we can overcome what they doing.
You know how I think about it is? There's no innocence. And no race, no color, no how, no being. There's no innocence. You know how they say those sayings, you are innocent until proven guilty? You are guilty until proven innocent. There is no innocence. The law is corrupt in any and every different way.
Well,
And it ain't even about race no more. Like, it's not about race no more.
Sure, it is. Always been about race.
It's always been about race.
About race.
But every single type of race is doing something corrupt. Every single type of race is doing something corrupt.
But,
And it ain't no
but here's
different
the
than
thing.
what
It's big
we would
difference.
do, the white people would do.
There's a big difference.
The thing
If
about
you're
that
talking about
is-
race.
Yeah.
And see, the thing about other races, they do stick together, so no, I don't agree with you with that.
You're right. They do things. I said no. I didn't say they don't do shit together. I said it's not really no difference when you
Very
look
different,
at it
because
on
they
the
stick
outside.
together. They have their
Yeah,
own.
they stick
When you
together.
go around, you see
But their
Spanish
crimes are still the
restaurants.
same crimes. If they murder somebody,
Well, of course, there's
It's
a
still
different
the
law.
same crime.
There's two different laws. There always has been. One for us and one for them. So to me, that's nothing new.
our law don't mean
Still go
shit.
back to stimulus what's going on with us and our people.
Yeah.
I don't care about any other race on this planet. I care about our race.
Right.
Yep.
What goes on with us?
Well, we got a lot of our race that's grown nowadays that don't give a damn about our race because they don't know.
Well, because they don't
know too much of shit about our race. They don't take pride in our race.
That's
They
a
don't
lot of
take
young
pride in
brothers do.
themselves. Yeah.
Because here's the thing. See, we don't go out to talk to these people. And then some of the brothers my age are scared. What are you scared of?
Yep.
So what, they run around with guns, this and that. Hey, well, this is the things that we're trying to get rid of.
Yep. Trying to get a hold on.
That's right, a hold on. Because they using these guns on each other.
Yeah.
Because they don't know.
They
But when
doing,
you enlighten them, they do listen.
They
I
do.
know. I've talked to people.
they're
most
making the
everywhere.
police job and the white man's job easy because they taking each other out left and right every day. We taking each other out, and
This is what
they
we
sit
wanna
back
stop.
and they just say thank you.
No, this is
You
what we
know,
wanna
you know
stop.
how many murders done happened, and they haven't even gained to look for who did it. There's certain people who done got murdered in this city, and they still ain't found.
Well, you talking those?
They killed
That's the police department fault. So these nature.
They didn't bother.
See,
They don't
but
even bother to
The
look.
thing we need to teach the youth
why help them-
that's walking
why
around
help
here with the
them
guns
just
and,
cut each other
and stuff.
off when they come up with it as it is?
Exactly.
What we need to teach
And the
the
community
youth.
is quick to call in and tell on the next brother, yeah, I seen him over here, he over here, this and that and third. And you helping them do the job that they don't
But
really
what we
wanna
should
do.
be doing as a community, though, these young brothers with these guns and all of that, we should be showing them what the Black Panther Party was about. And if you're gonna carry a gun, don't police your neighborhood with it. Don't let the corruption enter your neighborhood.
But first of all, you want to
You
buy
know, these
legal
young guns don't
guns,
know about the Black
but
Panther.
you still you want to have legal guns, or not
Yeah.
illegal guns,
Exactly.
to help police our streets and things like that. Because I don't see the police.
If
doing
we
it
did
all.
that,
when they stop us, they brutalize us.
if we did that, they'll think it's another Malcolm X movement.
Well, here's the thing: it is a movement, and I'm
Yeah.
ahead of it. You know? That's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
If you don't,
It's
if-
not a
We done
game.
already,
it's a
we done
movement.
already overgained them by having the first black president.
That's not the first.
Maybe,
black
yeah,
president.
he ain't did.
That ain't
He is not the first black
president.
president, excuse me. As a matter of fact, he ain't our first niglet president, because that's what I call them. They were niglets. You were half and half. And then you gotta realize like this right here. Let's talk about the first presidents before Washington.
Yeah, because he was the 9th president.
That's right. And what about the half and half individuals that was in between him and them? Let's talk about Jackson. Let's talk about Abraham.
Yeah, because he was
Let's talk about
definitely
these
half and
presidents
half.
who were definitely half and half.
Yeah,
So
he
he
was
is not the first.
He was
black
definitely
president.
half and half, and
Half and half what?
he was
Half
half black and half white. And that's the reason why they don't show
that's
pictures
right.
of Abraham
Don't they
Lincoln.
do- and other
They don't show photographs of him. They show
Or what
drawn
about their
pictures.
parents that you can look up?
Yeah.
That's why.
And what was the other one? Was it Eisenhower?
He didn't have.
They had his mother was black.
Who?
I know who you're talking about, but I can't call it
But
out.
here's the thing: these things you can look up. But he was not the first black anything.
Yep.
But I say to you, John Hanson was.
Yeah, he was the first black president.
John Hanson.
That was
John
truly
Hanson,
black.
yeah. He's on the $2 bill. That's why they stopped making them.
Yeah. You're
Well,
right.
they remake him. He's
They
still on the
still
back.
make 'em.
Yeah, but they aren't in circulation as much as they used to be.
Right. Because
No,
of
they
the
rare
$2
now.
bill.
They're becoming to be rare $2 bills.
You know what I mean? We're pretty many did at the
In
bank.
another couple years, they make them rare.
No. Because they're available right now. You can go to the bank right now
Yeah,
and
you
get a
can,
handful of
you
them.
can
Yeah.
get $200-300.
Here's the thing to wonder,
I said right
most of your
now.
life, who was that black man on the back of that $2 bill that they never told you about?
Yeah.
Because
But
I
that's-
did research to find out what happened and when it happened.
Yeah. See what they do? That's part of the propaganda. They take away what they don't want you to know, and they don't teach you about it, and your story becomes docile, null and void. And as long as we in that null and void state, we'll never be able to accomplish anything.
Let me ask you a question. Now, you think about things that they show you on the History Channel and the movies that they came up with, like the Ten Commandments, people that played them. You think those people were white? No, sir.
No.
There was no white men back in ancient Egypt.
No, it wasn't.
Not at all.
And the first one that did come there, he had conquered. His name was Ptolemy the First. This is where you get your Jesus character from.
Yep.
Let's talk about the. Well, I'm not gonna do that there because it's y'all talking today.
Yeah,
Talk about
because
y'all want to talk about.
Moses was basically, if you look at the movie, Moses was supposed to have been before Jesus. All
Yeah,
of that
that's
was supposed
not-
to happen before Jesus.
Well, see, that's another thing about people that.
The
that
Ten
read Bible.
Commandments, all that, that was supposed to be
But
written
here's the
before
thing about-
Jesus.
Yeah.
But see, you talk about this, but see, you are the same place that everybody else are at that are called Christians, because they don't know what they celebrate at Easter. What do they celebrate?
I don't celebrate
And
Easter.
well, maybe not. I'm saying the Christians that do. What is that? And what does a rabbit got to do with anything? It's
me.
eggs.
Exactly.
But the thing
I'm
about
not
the Easter
worshiping.
celebration,
I'm not
Excuse
worshiping
me.
no rabbit.
Here's the thing, because I've talked to people that have their,
No
I got my own
leprechaun.
congregation, I have this and that, but then you don't even know what you celebrate.
You got people out here. Listen, they representing. They celebrating a rabbit.
No.
They celebrate
It's
a
not a
leprechaun.
rabbit.
Excuse to get drunk. They celebrate. They celebrate a fat white man on Christmas. Was they supposed to say it's supposed to be Jesus' birth? No, Jesus was born in October. Okay, read the Bible. It'll come up to you.
Let me put you
What's
like this
another
right here.
one?
What if I told you there was no Jesus, period?
not at all.
At all. That's just your belief. Like I said, see, that's that Christian.
It ain't my belief.
It
It's
is.
what I read in the book.
Here's the thing.
And it's the simple fact that he was supposed to have been born and this and that and the third in a book which they written
They got
and which
nothing to
they
do
tried
with-
to hide it and it was deciphered.
But it has
Whether
nothing
he
to
was
do-
real or not, this
Nothing to do
supposed
with
to
what
be
you're talking
birthday was never
Your
December
information-
25th.
Here's the thing. Your information is
December
wrong about
25th.
everything that you just talked about.
December
Everything.
25th is actually the
Another thing about this, you just sit down and listen instead of talking too
winter
fast.
solstice.
Because of everything you said, my little brother, was definitely wrong about everything. And it did come from that place called Christian Hall. And you are one. You was raised that way because I knew you. But everything you said, brother, was definitely wrong. One thing I do, I correct the wrong. Especially when I see these church people, a lot of talk with deacons, preachers, and all that there. Because those are the big liars, okay? They press this shit that about Jesus this and Jesus that. There was no Jesus, period. What you want to do is go to the Nicene Council 325 AD. You go to any library, you pick up, you go on the internet, and what you'll come to find is the creation of Jesus, how they created him. Created from a guy called Ptolemy the first Sultan of Egypt.
Yep.
So when you get ready to state some state facts that you know, because brother, what you was on, that wasn't it, not at all. Do a little more research, and what you do is do more research about us. You do research about us, you'll find everything that you need to find out,
And
and
if you
a
really-
self-pride about yourself that no one can ever take from you ever again.
you can find out all of that information about how Jesus is fake just by looking at the pyramid walls. They had a setting aside. which was 4,000 to 5,000 years before the creation of Christ. And they took everything from that story and just put Jesus Christ.
It was longer than that.
Yeah.
Predate them. All right, and after the fighting of Kemet, you're talking about 20,000 years and went past.
Mm-hmm.
But then you think about the fighting of Kemet, when he found it, how it was took by force. And by the way, this is how they run the world to this day. Because there wasn't no man called Solomon either. So it wasn't Solomon's house that they went into. It was Pharaoh's house that they went into.
Yep.
After they went into Pharaoh's house, they found out what was really, really good. Because Pharaoh ruled the world the same way that they're ruling the world right now today. But I tell you this, young man, nothing has changed. This is all ours. This is all Kemet.
And
All of
regardless
it.
to how people think nowadays, everything has still got to do with race. Everything has got to do with race. That's why they won't let anything we do prosper, because they know we'll take the power back.
Well, there's one reason why they keep, us.
They can't stop us from getting some power, but we can't. They limit us to so much power.
That's a true statement.
They limit us. They can't stop us from gaining some power, but we are limited to our power.
They stopped all the powerful bills that was ever had.
Yep.
Let's talk about
Black Wall Street.
Besides Black Wall Street,
The
let's
Detroit
talk about
movement.
Marcus Garvey.
Yeah.
This man, he just wants us to have our own. Anything we ever tried to do, they infiltrated and stopped, and they used us to do so.
Yeah, and this is how they stopped Marcus. He had bought a fleet of tanker ships, and he was going to put every black person that was willing to go on his boats and go back to Africa. They could not survive without us, so they blew up his ships. So he couldn't transport people out of here because we was really willing to go. And that was in the 30s, 20s and 30s.
I'm sorry, not Africa, but a Cuban line.
A Kivu line, exactly.
We're going to start calling it like it is. Not after the white man who was supposed to discover it, because he didn't discover it that damn thing.
Yeah, it was there. His name was Africus.
Africanos.
Yep, and so they named it Africa after him.
But all of this is ancient Kemet. Every piece of this land. Because beforehand, for anything that ever happened, this was one massive piece of land.
Yep, in the middle
Before
of
the
the
Ice
water.
Age came in and broke us apart. This is why the black man is the first settler of the world, the first navigator, because we knew that when the lands broke apart, our people were over here and our people were over there.
And we built boats to go
And we
visit.
built boats to go see.
And it was certain things that broke off that went with that part of the island because that's where that stuff grew, or that's where that was made. So they had to go over here to get wheat, and then they had to sell over there to get pepper, and so we was the first to do everything.
But like I said before, we won't be the last. Until now, this is Let's Talk About with David Hill. We'll see you next week.
Good night, fellas.
All right,
Gentlemen.
everybody.